Hey, what's up, guys? Dale Valor here for Modern Valor Dating. Today we're going to be talking about a subject that, has been thrown around in game forever. All right, it's neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. A lot of guys don't really understand the concepts of it, what it's used for, and we're going to break that down, chop it up, and make it palatable and easy to understand. We're going to hop into that right now. Let's go. All right, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, has been in game forever. Ross Jeffries is the guy that made it popular and brought it to the forefront. It comes from in the 70s. That's kind of when the self-improvement, self-help genre really kind of took shape. There were self-help books before that. I mean, forever there's been self-help books. But that's really when the whole industry kind of took off, like pre-Tony Robbins. That's kind of when it really started rolling and everything. And NLP was birthed out of that. Okay, and so I know it's kind of like neuro-linguistic programming. It's like, okay, what does that even mean? Neuro being your mind, linguistic being language, and then program being, programming yourself to accentuate those things and put them together so as that you can communicate better and not to manipulate, but to influence, okay? Now, the first part of NLP is meditation. And I'm a firm believer in meditation. And there's all kinds of different kinds of meditation. I really like the NLP format of meditation in visualization, okay? Like oftentimes when people think of meditation, it's a thing of clearing your mind and thinking about nothing and focusing on your breathing. And all those things are beneficial. I don't knock that whatsoever. But for somebody like me that has a hyperactive mind, that's always running and always going, it's hard for me to be able to do that. And I find the NLP style to be something that just really speaks to me. And so if you have a mind like that, maybe consider this. When you're doing NLP type of meditation, what you're doing is you're picturing a bunch of different things. You're picturing the environment that you want to be in, where you see yourself, the things that you want to accomplish, and you're putting yourself, it's like you're watching it on a movie screen. You're watching these things play out, and then you're stepping into that reality. You're watching yourself do it, then you're stepping into yourself, and now you're doing it as yourself instead of watching it. And so that's really one way that I'm really oversimplifying it just for the sake of the video. If you want to find out more about a lot of these NLP concepts, they go a lot deeper than that. There's all kinds of NLP instructors, and not in the pickup sense, but just that teach it just for self-improvement. You can find those videos. They're very easy to find. But I'm just kind of giving you the bullet points and snapshot view of it. But yeah, I mean, the NLP way of meditation really has helped me a lot in life, and I suggest checking that out. We're going to get into the next part of it. Let's go. With NLP, there's three main concepts. There's the self-help part of it. There's the meditation part, which we just talked about. There's also hypnosis, okay? With hypnosis, you think of like the guy with a watch and he's trying to, hypnotize you, count down to 30 and then make you balk like a chicken or, just go out and do crazy stuff. That's not really what it's about. In this sense of hypnosis, you're hypnotizing yourself. Really, at the end of the day, that's what hypnosis is. You don't hypnotize somebody else. That person hypnotizes themselves, but they open themselves up to it, and that's how they're able to come under hypnotic suggestion, okay? Now, when you're hypnotizing yourself, that's part of the meditation process of it. But you can also hypnotize others by hypnotic speech, hypnotic patterns, just having them walk, all the things that you're walking yourself through in the meditation process, you're walking them through it. You're taking their hand and guiding them instead of doing it yourself for yourself. And that's part of the hypnosis part of it. You're able to embed images in people's minds suggestively by the way that you talk to them. That's why it's such a good it's a good tool to use for seduction, is because you can implement ideas in people's heads. You know, the thing is that one of the senses that you can hardly ever block out is your hearing. You can close your eyes. You can put your hands in your pocket so you don't feel something. If you don't want to taste something, you can close your mouth. If you don't want to breathe something in, you can hold your breath. Now, you can cover your ears, but if the suggestion and the noise is loud enough, you're still going to hear it. It's really hard to block that out. So that's why communication is such a big factor in the hypnosis part of this. So again, there's tons of video on NLP hypnosis. Go check those things out if you're interested in it. We're going to get into the next part of it, so let's go. All right, so remember I was talking about there's really three things that encompass NLP, and that is meditation, hypnosis, and self-improvement. So the self-improvement part of it is you taking the things that you need to improve in your life and focusing on those things and canceling out the things that are detrimental to you. So if you want to stop smoking, for example, NLP is a good way to do that. Now, I can't really go into great detail about how and why it works and everything because we just don't have the time to do that. There's other videos that can point you in that direction. However, that being said, you know, it's like a thing of this, like this. If you know that you need to feel confident for a particular task, all right, you've got a big job interview coming up, or, you know, you've got a date that you've been wanting to go on with this girl for quite some time, and you're feeling a little anxious and reluctant, you know that you need to step into that confidence. One of the ways that you can do that is think about the time that you were the most confident. See, here's the thing. You felt confidence before, right? As a human being, you have felt confident in a particular situation, so you know what that feeling feels like. You know that you can be confident. So it's a matter of stepping into and tapping into the way that you feel the most confident. That way, you can recall it any time you need it. You can step right into it and be that confident self by thinking about the time that you were the most confident. Maybe you play sports and you kill it on the basketball court, and that's where you feel the most confident. You can visualize that time that you stepped out on the court and you went out there and you killed it. You know, you dropped 30 on the other team. You know, whatever. You knocked down a 3 right in some dude's face at the buzzer. You know, that time that you felt that confidence. You can think about that time, you can envision it, and step into it. Now, you feel that sense of confidence. See, your mind doesn't... The way your mind works is you have a logical part and you have a subconscious part. So the thing is, and an emotional part too. But let's focus on the logical and the subconscious. Your logical mind, if you're remembering something that happened, your logical mind understands and realizes that what you're doing is something that you're remembering, that you're not actually doing it and experiencing it right now. You know, if you're thinking about that time you nailed that 3 in the dude's face at the buzzer, your logical mind says, okay, I realize that I'm sitting in my bedroom right now, that I'm not actually on the basketball court. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference. That's why when you're watching a movie and it's a really emotional scene, and you feel those emotions that you're seeing on the screen, your logical mind understands that you're just watching a movie. You're in a movie theater. Your subconscious mind does not. And that's why you feel the same emotions that the characters on the screen are having, because your subconscious mind thinks you're right there with them. That's why this works so effectively. If you can picture the time that you were confident, you can pull yourself right back into it and feel those same emotions and take those with you. Okay, so we're going to hop into the next part of it. Let's get it. All right, so the next part of this focuses a little bit more on the seduction aspect of NLP. And a big part of that is language patterns. If you can talk to somebody in a certain rhythmic way, that way they're going to follow along with what you're saying They're going to understand it better. It's going to make more sense to them, and it's going to be hard not to listen. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go back in the video and just rewatch what I just said. If you can figure out the pattern in which I was speaking to you, you're going to start to get it. Now, the thing is that even if you don't get it, your subconscious is going to get it, and it's going to make you want more. So if I can embed seduction, if I can throw out different concepts and different seductive language and embed that into my speech, it's going to make her want to hear it more. And she's going to visualize it. She's going to picture it. It's not about her just hearing it. It's about bringing her along on the experience in her own mind. And now subconsciously, it's going to sink into her subconscious. She's going to think about having sex with you or being with you, whatever. And again, remember what I was saying before, her logical mind understands that she's not having sex with you. Her subconscious mind, as she's envisioning it and she's picturing it, her subconscious mind does not know the difference. So it's already being embedded. It's something that's going to be familiar to her before it even happens. So that's why language patterns are such a big deal when it comes to NLP and why it works and why it makes sense. All right, so we're going to hop into the next part of this. Let's go. All right, so imagine that you and I are having a conversation, and we're having a great conversation, okay? It's something that's very mentally stimulating. It's something that you know that you can really sink your teeth into mentally, and it just brings out in you you're just excited to be here. You're really loving this conversation and the journey that we're going on together, talking about whatever it is that we're talking about. All right, now imagine that I give you one of my bracelets. All right, and I tell you, all right, so what I want you to do is I want you to remember this conversation every time that you look at this bracelet. What do you think is going to happen? Every time you look at that bracelet, it's going to bring you back to when I said that, and it's going to bring you back to that conversation. What else is going to happen? You're going to remember the conversation, but you're also going to feel the emotions that you felt when all that happened. One thing that I like to do in game is, now these kind of bracelets here, they're not very expensive, all right? I can get a 3-pack of little bracelets like this, for $10, maybe less. If I get them on Amazon or something like that, it's gonna be like $5 for 3 of them, okay? And I've got a ton of them. I don't mind losing them from time to time. Now there's ones that I have that I like that I'm not gonna give away. But this is the thing. What I will do is, I also spray my cologne on my wrists. So I know that these smell like my cologne that I wear. When I'm having a really good interaction with a woman, and it's just not in the cards to be able to pull right then, and I know that I'm not going to see her for a little bit of time, a week, maybe 2, something like that. What I'll do is I'll give her one of these, all right? And I'll say, here's what I want you to do. And I'll put it on her wrist. I want you to keep this for me. I'll be back for it at some point in time. But every time that you see it, and I'll bring her hand up, her wrist up to her nose, I want her to inhale it and smell it. What am I really doing by doing that? All right, how many senses am I stimulating by doing that? Touch, smell, she's hearing me talk, she can see it. The only thing that she's not doing is like licking the bracelet, all right? That's it. Everything else I've covered. So the thing is, every time that she sees that now, she's gonna go home and feelings subside. She had a great time with me, but it's been a week or 2, and she remembers back, like, okay, yeah, that was cool, that was fun. That guy was really interesting. I'd really like to hang out with him again. But, it's not the same because 2 weeks have went by. All I've got to do is say, I can shoot her a text, and I can say, hey, listen, I want you to put that bracelet on, take a picture of it, and send it to me. All those same emotions are going to flood back. All right, she's going to remember everything about that and everything that she felt and experienced with me by putting on that bracelet and taking the picture and sending it to me. Now, when it comes time to hang out again, it's going to be 1,000 times easier. She's never going to ghost on me. She's never going to flake because of this. And it was $2. You know what I mean? So the thing is that that's what anchoring is. You want to anchor an emotion to an object. You give it to somebody, they're going to remember that forever. They're going to have those same feelings. They're going to flood back every time they see it. You know, that's why it's hard to get somebody out of your mind that you're attached to. Say you have a breakup, and you keep thinking about the girl that you had a breakup with because things keep reminding you about her. A song comes on the radio, it reminds you of her. You see somebody walking across the street that kind of looks like her, reminds you of her. You go to the grocery store, you see her favorite food there in the produce aisle. It brings you back, it makes you remember, and it makes you long, right? And that's the thing about breakups is oftentimes, you know, you miss that person. And things jump out at you that make you miss them because it brings that person back to the forefront of your mind. And that's exactly what I'm doing with this when I'm anchoring. So it's a super powerful tool. Use it. It will not steer you wrong, I promise. We're going to get into the next tip. Let's go. All right, so the next part of this is NLP routines. There's certain NLP things that you can do. Remember earlier in the video I was talking about different hypnotic type of things that you can walk a girl through. That's those routines. They're fun to do when you're hanging out with a girl, when you're trying to get to know her. And the thing is that they're legit. It's not a thing of like, it's a fun little game or something like that. She's legitimately going to enjoy it, and you are going to get to know her significantly more. Have you ever been in the situation where a girl says, I feel like I've known you all my life, or I feel like I've known you for years, and it's only been an hour? That's a way to do that, where she feels super comfortable with you. Now, when somebody's comfortable with you, they're starting to trust you. When they're starting to trust you, they start to respect you. When they respect you, they're attracted to you. So that's the thing. Trust equals respect equals attraction. Okay? Now, if you want to do an NLP routine, there's a ton of them out there. Okay? I can't go into each and every one. One to look up, I use religiously is eliciting values. Okay, eliciting values, I'll give you a quick rundown of it. Eliciting values works like this. It's really 3 questions, okay? The first question is, if life was worth living, if there was one thing in the world that made life worth living to you, what would that thing be? Now, she's going to answer something to the effect of, it could be her family. Okay, perfect. Your family. So now what I want you to do is I want you to visualize the perfect situation, the perfect scenario in which your family is together. Say it maybe Christmas morning. Maybe it's a family vacation. It could be anything. But imagine that scenario and tell me what that looks like. Oh, well, on Christmas, it is Christmas morning, and, our whole family's there together. We've gotten gifts for each other because we love each other, and, we're always trying to make sure that everybody's okay. We're, it's just great being around them. I don't get to see them as much as I would like, and, just to be able to spend that time with them, I really cherish it, and it's something that, it's just really... it's just good for all of us. It's almost therapeutic. Okay, great. Now, if you could picture that scenario, what is the feeling that you get when you visualize that? I just feel a real sense of belonging. That's your illicit value. That's your ultimate value right there. Her ultimate value is a sense of belonging. So anytime, this is what I'll tell her, anytime in life where you need to make a major life decision, whether it's about a job, maybe moving or relationship, you need to look to that ultimate value. That value, you value above everything else. So you use that as a barometer or a measuring stick for a decision. If you're making a decision about a job, what job, you have two jobs that are available to you. Which job gives you a better sense of belonging? That's the job that's probably the right choice for you. Now, here's the thing. It's not just a little gambit or a little routine to run just to have a good time. You're really getting to know her. You're getting to know what makes her tick. So now, when I'm talking to her, I can talk about having a sense of belonging. So from there on out in the interaction, I'm going to weave in belonging. Like, it's important to me as a guy to feel like when I'm with a girl, when I'm having a relationship with a girl, that she feels like, that she can, the camaraderie part of it, the part of it that where you feel like you belong and you're in the right place, and it brings her back to that ultimate value. And so when she's making a decision about wanting to be with me, it makes it so much easier because now she has that sense of belonging, you see? So that's an NLP routine. There's many others, so go check them out. There's lots of video on that, but we're gonna hop into the next tip. Let's go. All right, this is the final part of this in this NLP video. The last thing here is, and I'll leave this up to you guys if it's something that you want to do or not. Some people take it as manipulation. I tend to think of it as influence, but I'll leave it up to the user. It's completely up to you if you want to use this or not, but it is very effective. All right, and that's weasel phrases. All right, and this comes from, I'll give credit where credit's due. This is straight from Ross Jeffries. All right, it's something that I've used many, many times, and I found it to be very effective. So a weasel phrase is you're putting the blame on somebody else for something that they're doing that she's imagining doing with you. All right, so what that means is, say for instance, you're talking to a girl at a bar, and you say, I was talking to this guy the other day, and he was saying to a girl at this very bar, he was saying to her, I ought to take you, bend you over, and fuck you right now. Just raw dog, just hair pulling, aggressive, assertive, and just taking her right there. And she was with it. It wasn't rapey or anything like that. She was with it. You could see it in her eyes that she was with it. But I just couldn't believe that somebody would say that out loud with a group of people around, that if I take you home with me right now, I'm gonna fuck you raw. All right? Now, here's the thing about it. This is why it's a weasel phrase. She's going to be thinking in her mind about that with you. Because you're not saying, I'm saying this to you. What you're saying is, this other guy said it to this other girl, but the way that I'm framing it and the way that I'm phrasing it is saying, this guy said, I can't wait to get you home. I'm gonna rip the clothes off of you and just fuck you raw. All right, now, the thing is that she's gonna picture that, because if you cut away all this guy said this to this girl and all that stuff, what it comes down to is, I'm saying to you, I'm going to take you home, and I'm going to do this to you. All right? She's going to picture that being done to her by you. It's an instant way to get her stimulated, to get her turned on, and to embed language into her mind, where subconsciously, again, if you remember earlier in the video, I was saying that her logical mind knows that this other guy said it to this other girl. But her subconscious mind is going to absorb that and feel that emotion and what that would be like, what that would feel like, as if she's doing it, as if she's there. So that's weasel phrases, and that's neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. Again, if you want to learn more about NLP, there's all kinds of video out there, all kinds of things that you can read about it. I believe it's a great way to, it's a great thing to supplement your game with. I don't use NLP exclusively, I sprinkle it in. So I'm Dale Valor from Modern Valor Dating. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification button or bell or whatever it is. Drop a comment. If you have video suggestions, make sure that you put them in there. I will drop a video if you make a suggestion. You have my word on that, okay? Also, we have a Facebook group, Modern Valor Dating. Look that up. Be a part of the community. It's a great, positive community. It's very interactive. We have hundreds and hundreds of guys in there learning on a daily basis how to achieve their goals, how to get better with women and get better with life. Get at us on Instagram at Modern Valor Dating. At Modern Valor Dating. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Salute.